Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Activating Your Superfans with Collagen Co. So my name is Raquel Baroli, Partner Marketing Manager here at Okendo, and I will be your moderator for today. So before we get started, I wanted to run through some quick housekeeping rules. We will be sending out a recording of the webinar within 24 hours, so please keep an eye out in your inbox. And if you are contributing to the chat, please ensure you send to panelists and attendees or everyone. So to kick things off, I'd love if our panelists could introduce themselves. So let's start with Alex.
Morning, everyone. So I'm Alex. I'm a part of the APAC go-to-market team at Okendo. Anything sort of new customer related, you'll probably hear from me, as well as if you want to learn about any of our new products.
Awesome. And Isaac?
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Isaac Woodley, co-founder of the Collagen Co. We launched 3 years ago. So the Collagen Co, we create high quality, great tasting, results driven collagen products to promote health and beauty from the inside out. And yeah, big fan of Okendo and happy to be here.
Amazing. Last but not least, Kenan?
Hey, I'm Kenan. We have been working with the Collagen Co for the past 2 years on everything website related as tennis kid.
Amazing. And so I guess just to get us started, so as we all know, the e-commerce landscape has experienced a number of significant shifts over the last few years. What are some of the biggest challenges that D2C brands have experienced throughout this time? So Kenan, I feel like having worked with so many brands at an agency, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I first started working in like e-commerce when the influencer boom was sort of going on, and then obviously since then a lot has changed. I mean, the most obvious is like acquisition cost has just skyrocketed in with all the privacy policies and whatnot. So essentially, Isaac can probably speak to this more than I can, but like ads, the entire strategy has had to change how you target people. Also across our clients, obviously being a web dev agency, we've seen like a massive increased importance for like conversion rate and on-site experience, which then goes on to help, improve the targeting, because everyone that would convert that lands on your site will convert ideally. So that's been a massive part of our role with the Collagen Co. And yeah, a massive part of that includes making sure that information that your customers need to make a decision is there, feels authentic, and sort of it helps customers make an informed buying decision.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I feel like if you started during the influencer boom, are we talking like 2013?
Probably towards the tail end. So with like the likes of Chloe Zepp and sort of those heydays and whatnot, but I feel like it's fizzled out a little bit since then.
Of course. And Isaac, do you have something to contribute there?
Yeah, I think, touching on what Kenan's saying, yes, costs have increased across advertising. I wish I was around during the influencer boom because we'd probably be 10 years ahead of where we are now, but that's how life works. But I'd say more broadly, costs have increased across business in every aspect, whether that's supply chain, talent, digital advertising. So I think what's very important and something we honed in on from day one is having an exceptional product. And if you don't have an exceptional product, customers don't return. And so, it's very hard to be profitable on first purchase. So having a great product and then, as Kenan was touching on, making sure you're capitalizing on all the traffic you send to your website through a variety of channels is very important. And then how do you engage the customer after that journey starts, using tools like Okendo or, your email and SMS programs. So it is a big focus for us at the Collagen Co and something we've invested in from early on. But yeah, starts with a great product and then what you build around that is very important as well.
No, of course. And Alex, I'm sure you also probably have your own thoughts on this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sort of at the coalface speaking with merchants like Isaac and many others. And, rising customer acquisition costs certainly is, on everyone's lips. It's getting harder and harder. to compete with, everyone else. That competition relates to, not only marketing spends and budgets, but, we're competing for customer loyalty. We're competing for, customers, money at the end of the day. And, what can we do to drive home our value and, build loyalty amongst, our businesses?
Of course. I mean, it definitely sounds like it is a crazy time right now, but it is great that we're able to sort of work through this together and navigate through it all. So I guess why we're here today, we're here to tell you how to compel, engage, and activate your superfans. So Alex, can you tell us more about what a superfan is and how they can help brands combat some of the challenges we just mentioned?
Great. So superfans are going to be your customers who are really engaged with the brand. They've generally got a high lifetime value and a level of social influence and trust. They're usually willing to collaborate with the brand on any activities that are going to help, you bring in more customers as well. So this might be, social shares or tagging you in posts or referring friends. I guess to create that super fan kind of ecosystem, you're going to want to look at things like, incentivizing your referrals, gathering first party data so they can actually, you can better understand them and better personalize your messaging to them. On-site experience is a big one, make it engaging, use things like quizzes to keep them coming back and interacting with you anytime they're on the site. And then obviously there's a loyalty program that could be added in there as well. Stay tuned for more on this from Okendo in 2024.
I like the little sneak peek there. Kinnan, so this one's for you. With high acquisition costs, tell me what are some of the best ways brands can optimize their on-site experience to improve conversion rates and drive customer loyalty from the start of their journey?
Yeah, I suppose one of the most overlooked aspects within e-commerce until recent sort of times has been like the customer account experience. And sort of from first sale, a lot of brands sort of forget that they have to really make that experience continue on. So one way we've done that with the Collagen Co is by implementing like a really strong account experience that doesn't create friction within the flow of the user, so they can see their previous orders really quickly and easily, see products they've viewed, products they've saved. So that's been a massive improvement we made with the Collagen Co. But then with consumable products, a lot of the focus with the Collagen Co has been on getting consumers to get into the habit of using the product, and also, of course, increasing AOV and boosting conversion rates. So Okendo's played a massive role in that, in having strong reviews with images, which really boosts the authenticity when you've got, women of all ages showing photos of their results, of how they've used the product, of when they've received the product, and also sharing their experiences, which then gives the buyers the confidence to make a larger purchase. And sort of that's supplemented by progressive discounts depending on how many products you buy. And then obviously the goal is AOV is increased, so it becomes, for the acquisition cost, you're obviously making more. And then hopefully that moves on to get them into the habit of using the Collagen Co products daily. Being a collagen supplement, it's a perfect candidate for people to get into the habit of having every morning, sometimes twice a day, depending on how much they love the products. And I know some Collagen Co customers use it a lot more than that even. So yeah, that's a massive sort of way we look at it with the Collagen Co specifically.
No, of course. And I think you summarized it very, very well. I know collagen definitely wasn't something that I had used previously, but I've implemented into my daily routine really across like the last 2 years. So
after looking at their marketing material, what, 12 to 16 months, even I started taking it, and it does taste as good as the customers say.
That's it. I've hit the end half of my 20s, and so now I'm like, okay, where is it? Give it to me. So anyway, moving on. So Isaac, tell me, what is a typical customer journey for a customer at the Collagen Co?
Yeah, I think as an e-commerce brand, we have similar acquisition channels to most brands. So a lot of customers, first hear about us through Meta and say Instagram and Facebook, um, and then a little bit of Google in there as well. But what we found through surveys, customer referrals are very big for us too. So it sort of goes back to what we chatted about in the first question: is like you got to have a great product, and having the great product incentivizes customers to share. So yeah, customer referrals are big for us as well. And then we worked with 10 Squared on updating our website, and we changed a lot. We added a lot more new content in, so there was different value adds or different educational areas of the website. So customers sort of go through that journey. Many land on different areas, and then post that we have a very segmented and automated as well email and SMS series that sends to customers based on different attributes. So when was their last purchase, and then we retarget them, reminding them to top up, and a variety of other things as well. And again, one thing I'll touch on with Okendo is when we input surveys, that's become part of the customer journey as well. So post-purchase survey, we're collecting qualitative data around, what content do you want to see from us? Where did you first hear about us? And that sort of drives business decisions moving forward about, what channels do we further, invest in, or, what sort of content do we invest in? So, that's sort of the typical customer journey. That's a bit of a convoluted answer, but and then other things we've got an app as well, which we drive customers to and encourage them to join. I think having real estate on people's phone is pretty important. Private Facebook community, where we're sort of building that out. A variety of channels, but every customer has a different journey, but it's just about doing each part of it well.
Of course. I mean, I guess I will just jump into something else, because I feel like you've just touched on something quite interesting there. I guess really when Collagen Co is collecting and utilizing customer data to drive better experiences, what sources of data are the most important for you?
I think that qualitative data from surveys is very important, and having something like that, we didn't get that from the start. It was data we weren't collecting. We did kind of run, I suppose, ad hoc surveys with customers asking different questions, just utilizing, SurveyMonkey or other tools like that. But having something in place ongoing is very important. So basically what happens is we have two surveys set up. One, so it segments based on, are you a first-time customer or are you a return customer? And then a series of questions are different pertaining to that. And so, interesting, and an easy one to talk to is, what content do you want to see from us? So you'll see a lot of brands, a big trend is the behind-the-scenes sort of stuff. And less than 5% of our customers have said that they want to see behind the scenes. So, data can be misleading as well. So you've got to take everything with a grain of salt. And, so that sort of further defined to us, okay, do we invest in, making behind the scenes sort of stuff, or do we invest in other areas, whether it's, encouraging more customer reviews or getting customers to share their results, which was another big one that, it appears based on survey results customers want to see. So now we're leaning more in towards that.
For sure. And I think that's super important that you are able to actually get that data, because I think often brands can feel pressured to jump on board, these trends that are going on social media, or what are people doing on TikTok or Instagram. And, there's often, I know brands can feel pressure to sort of follow on that, whereas at least you have that data to tell you, hey, actually behind the scenes footage isn't really what our customers want to see, and you can make those changes to ensure that you're being really efficient with your marketing spend as well. So that's awesome.
I guess to add on to that quickly as well, so often you hear about brands, they do surveys, but like sort of Isaac started with, it's a bit more ad hoc. It might be once every 6 months we'll send something out, but it's having that continuous data flow of constantly collecting the information is probably where it's got most valuable. You can see trends, we called out that behind the scenes isn't what people want to see yet, but in 6 months, 12 months time, maybe you've filled their need for, seeing more customer results, and maybe that trend changes. And it's that continuous tracking that allows you to constantly give them what they want to see. So.
And it's like, again, it's unique to every business. So other business might find success with that, but maybe our customers, as Raquel, you mentioned earlier, you're getting into your second half of your 20s now, and now you're looking at taking collagen. And so our customer demographic is a bit older. And so maybe they haven't grown up with the behind the scenes stuff. They wouldn't have had social media, so they don't really care. They just want to have a good product that does what it promises, and that's what they want to see. So customers' results, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I think it's about, and again, Alex, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You got to be collecting that data, because the data takes time to collect. It doesn't just happen overnight. So I think it's an important thing to invest in. I think if we'd done it earlier, it would have been great.
Awesome. And then Isaac, an exceptional customer experience is a key part of engaging super fans and eventually turning them into brand advocates. With so many apps nowadays, how can brands make sure their tech stack supports a seamless customer journey?
Yeah, so I think there is so many apps, and you get people reaching out to you all the time, particularly as a brand owner or founder. But I've always I've been caught up in the, I've got to add this thing on, I've got to add that thing on. But I think you have to, just keep it simple at the start, and sort of, I go by the 80-20 rule, like focus on the 20% of stuff that's, generating 80% of the results. So what are those things for me? Make sure you have a review platform in place from the get-go. Again, similar to survey results, it takes time to collect reviews. And then, email and SMS, very important, because you've got to be collecting that data. So you've got another own channel. Digital advertising costs are expensive, so that's another channel you're going to be able to reach customers cost effectively. I think if you're starting out, keep it simple, and then as you continue to grow, you can start adding on extra bells and whistles. Maybe you're interested in a loyalty program, or whatever else. The gazillion other apps are out there, but there is some of those bread and butter ones that definitely invest in those. And then, as time grows, you start to learn more about your business. Then you can figure out, okay, what's going to actually add value versus, maybe just a nice to have.
And of course, I mean, Alex, I feel like you probably have something to say from the Okendo perspective here. Did you want to chime in?
Yeah, certainly. So I guess, it's been a big journey for us the last, particularly 12 months as well. We started off as a reviews platform. We've released surveys, referrals, and quizzes, in a pretty short succession in the last 12 months. It's been important for us to build this out so it's one platform. We aren't acquiring other platforms and, trying to bolt things together. It's really important to us that, all of these different parts that are affecting the customer journey, that are, helping create these super fans that we want to create, are all seamlessly integrated, a part of one platform as well. So
yeah, on that, like when we're working with merchants, we often find that maybe they've implemented a technology that's a massive cost to them that's not bringing results, or worst case scenario is they've implemented a technology that might be slightly helping one area but is detrimentally, ruining another area, which is something that Okendo doesn't do, which is great. In that it's very lightweight on the store, lets the theme remain fast, and it's one of the only review apps that has done that consistently throughout time. A lot of the others have caught up now, but originally, when you guys first came out with the product, it was one of the only ones that didn't really hurt page speed, and that for us was sort of a game changer in getting merchants and pushing that speed, and making sure like the core web vital minimum have been reached. But yeah, with merchants need to understand that if an app isn't well built and an app isn't considered, it might do what it says, and it might do what it says very well, but the consequences of that may not be visible right away. but over time, your search results may plummet, and half of a channel that was doing really well for you is no longer performing because this app that you've installed has either catastrophically affected your page speed, or worst case scenario, some of the apps that take over the collections make it so that Google can no longer read your collections, or now still has trouble reading your collections but needs to expense extra resources to do the same work that it used to do quite easily. So yeah, you have to really look at it holistically, look at how an app over here affects performance over there, and really continue to monitor it, especially if you don't have the insight of someone who knows these technologies back to front, and monitor and know, okay, I installed this and then these were the effects, and just really monitor it. Either it's going to be positive, it's going to be neutral, or it's going to be negative, and you have to be super reactive to stay in front of the curve.
Yeah, and I think that's a very great point. And I know, having a product that didn't impact site speed has always been really important to Okendo. And then I know when we have expanded our product line, for anyone that's not aware, all of our products are built in-house. So they're built, not bought, which is probably a really key thing, when thinking about, your tech stack, because it means that all of our products do seamlessly integrate with one another. Whereas, if we had acquired some of our other products, you don't necessarily know what the impact of that is going to be once you have them all installed on your site. So I know site speed is definitely something that Okendo is really proud of. So it's great to hear that is kind of translated to our agencies and brands as well. So Isaac, I know you mentioned reviews are a highly impactful form of brand advocacy. Apart from the product detail page, are there any other unique ways that you're utilizing reviews and UGC to drive more sales?
We're probably utilizing it in similar channels to everyone else. So, across organic and paid media, emails, across the website, obviously. But I think I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I jumped on my mobile. One unique area that I worked with 10SQ to put reviews in. It's not a game changer, but I think it's an interesting one. Speaking to conversion rates, and I suppose capitalizing on all that traffic that comes to your website and mobile. Makes up a large proportion of traffic these days. It's over 80% for us, so that mobile experience has to be on point. But if on our product pages, we created a sticky add to cart button, and what I got 10SQ to do is put the reviews just inside the sticky add to cart. So whenever customers scrolling down on our product page, you've got the reviews still there. So that social proof is everywhere upon the customer's journey, particularly on one of the most important pages on your site, which is the product page, which is mostly where customers are going to purchase. So yeah, like I said, it's not a complete game changer, but it's another interesting way that we're utilizing reviews. I don't see it too often. I don't really have any data around, how much it's improved, but I can say that our conversion rates are extremely healthy comparatively to when I speak to other, brands in the space. So, yeah.
Of course. When I know we do have stats on this point though. So I know that you are using Okendo quizzes, and you've seen an impressive 8.8% conversion rate for quiz takers. Can you tell me more about how you approach creating your quiz and how it helps engage superfans?
Yeah, well, I think we sort of looked at quizzes because a lot of customers will contact us and say, hey, I'm looking for X benefit. What's the right product for me? And we don't have a massive SKU range, but people just like to be told, hey, is this the right product for me, or should I be taking something else? So I suppose quizzes was sort of our first step to testing personalization, I suppose, on a smaller level. And so, as a product that's there to provide a benefit, we saw it as a good opportunity to test that. And so, yeah, we've seen some, we haven't had it for too long, but we've seen some really great early results you know, and we're looking at expanding on that and seeing if there's other ways we can utilize quizzes. You know, one thing that came up in our marketing meeting yesterday was, you know, could we utilize quizzes more as a storytelling piece? Could we take it and say, you know, now that we're coming into the Australian summer, how to keep your skin glowing during summer, and, you know, take them on a bit of a journey through, like, you know, do this and do that. And so, you know, we're just spitballing ideas, but, you know, I think that's what marketing's about. It's about getting creative, looking at the tools in your tool belt and seeing if you can utilize them in different ways. And so, yeah, that's how we're kind of using quizzes at the moment, just, you know, directing customers in a direction, you know, pertaining to what benefit or what results they're looking for. But we're also looking at other creative ways to utilize it as well.
Of course. I mean, the marketer in me loves the storytelling aspect of it. So excited to see what direction you guys go with this.
Yeah, I might jump in just quickly on that as well. You know, it's one thing to have a quiz on your site and, you know, people are going to engage with it all the time. But for those regular customers, those people that are building up to be super fans, keeping them really engaged with, you know, specific, like new specific quizzes that are coming out. You know, you called out, you know, summer, maybe it's a gifting guide coming into Christmas. Maybe it's, you know, what to buy for Mother's Day or something like that. Keeping it, you know, on brand, but also relevant to what's happening socially as well, is going to keep those customers engaged. They know that when they land on your site, there's going to be something new and exciting for them to test out and then hopefully convert off as well.
Yeah. You have to, like, marketing literally is all about just finding things to engage customers with. So, you know, and the quizzes, like you just said, Alex, like, I love the Christmas guide idea. I'll probably steal that and get that implemented next week. But you've always got to have fresh stuff to talk about. You've always got to have fresh stuff to talk about. And so, you know, looking at those other ways to utilize the tools. But, you know, because you can't release a product every day. So what else are you going to talk about? You can't discount every day. So that's where these tools come in handy. It's like, okay, now we can release a new storytelling quiz or whatever it may be. So, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how it goes.
I think as well, it doesn't even always need to be from like the storytelling perspective. Like, I know I'm in the market for a Vitamix at the moment, and if anyone's ever shopped on Vitamix before, there's probably about 25 different blenders, which I thought all did the same thing. And they had a quiz on their site, and it really did help me just kind of figure out actually, like, what do I need? And it's like, you know, if you do have a lot of different products on your site, I think just helping people navigate through your site more seamlessly and not overwhelming them so that they can kind of get a little bit further in their customer journey. But yeah, very, very awkward stuff.
We've got a Ninja. It sounds like an aeroplane's taking off in the morning. I reckon we wake up our whole building when we turn that thing on. I reckon you could blend bricks in it, I reckon.
I mean, that's good. It's good to hear. And then, Isaac, how does the Collagen Co incentivize users to take action, such as referring a friend, completing a quiz, submitting a review? How are you engaging your customers to just like keep coming back and engaging with your brand?
Yeah, so we offer a small incentive for reviews, but I've always found that, you know, like I've said many times, like, we create a great product and customers will want to review it because, you know, you can have the incentive there, but if they don't actually like the product, why would they want the incentive? So I feel the incentive in reviews is more actually just about rewarding a customer and thanking the customer for reviewing the product. So that's one. Referrals, the way I look at referrals is that, you know, I suppose the topic is Superfans, and that, you know, customer acquisition costs have gone through the roof, etc. And, you know, so my advice with referrals, which we've had some fairly, you know, some fair success with, is that be more generous with it. So I don't just offer like, you know, give 10, get 10, because it's like, well, why is the customer going to do it? So I always think about it as a customer acquisition cost. So, you know, if you're looking at getting referrals, you know, let's just throw a number out there and say your customer acquisition costs on Facebook is $50. Well, then maybe you need to look at okay, give 50, get 50 or something of that nature, because now it's that customer is going to refer a new person to the brand, and that's money you've saved on the other side on digital advertising. So yeah, that'd be my advice for referrals. Review your CAC, based on your acquisition costs, and then make it something similar to that, or just make it generous in total. And then quizzes, we don't offer any incentives with. It's just more of a place for customers to find what they're looking for, similar to you with the Vitamix or the NutriBullet. So it's more just helping customers, adding value and that sort of stuff, versus them just reaching out to us and being advised. So yeah, no incentives with that. But
I like that you offer like bigger incentives as well, because it's almost like, so I mean, I'm a savvy e-commerce shopper, and I feel like so many brands can offer small discounts, but it's like, what is the differentiator, and why should I go to you over a competitor? Whereas offering such a generous incentive like that, I think would definitely convert me over anyway.
yeah, well, the business owner puts the business hat on and goes, well, I can't give away that much, but it's like, well, think about it in your business in totality. It's like, well, what are you paying on that side? So you got to think about your business holistically, and I don't know, that'd be tough.
And then I guess this is good for everyone, really. With many Australian brands looking to expand and reach new audiences internationally, what are some of the best tips you can share or gotchas brands should look out for?
Yeah, we're sort of still working on, Australia's our home country, and this is where we've sort of grown the business, and now we're starting to venture into what international expansion would look like. But having chatted to a lot of other brands in the e-commerce world, I think one thing that sort of hits home is if you can't get your local market right first, there's no guarantees that you're going to be able to be successful in an international market. And Australia is a great market. We've got great consumers here, expendable incomes and all that sort of stuff. So I think Australia is a good testing ground. If you can't get it right here, that means maybe the product's not right, maybe the offer's wrong. So yeah, that'll be my advice: is get your local market right first. If you have a good strong local market, and then start exploring, because you need resources, I think, to expand internationally as well. And without the resources, you could get in trouble and spread yourself too thin. So yeah, that'd probably be my advice there.
Yeah, that's great insight. And then Kinnan, so Black Friday, Cyber Monday is just passed. So based on the data that you now have, what are some of the key steps that brands can take to turn first-time buyers into superfans after the holidays?
Yeah, for sure. I suppose what we've seen some brands doing really, really well is shifting away from, just continuously selling, and seeing how they can sort of add value beyond just, hey, here's 50% off, buy my product. For example, one brand who does it really, really well is Pet Circle. So they, get to learn things about you. They actually have like very intricate emails whereby they actually know if your dog has passed away, and they'll refund your last order. They'll then, say sorry. And that is really how you go above and beyond for your customer and show them that you care. And, those each touch point, they look at it as, all right, yes, we've obviously got a motive here, but how can we also provide value to the customer? How can we improve that journey? And then also, like, another mistake we saw a few brands make, because we're part of like all of the EDMs, is like sending out just way too many emails. Like, I think I got an email 5 days in a row from one brand saying, ends midnight, free shipping, 40% off. And I was like, well, it's been ending every day since. And consumers are smart. They see right through that, and they see that as a cash grab, and they're just, it's not going to incentivize. It might work for a small percentage, but if you just get the offer right once, and you send out a couple of emails instead, it's going to have a long-term better impact on your brand than just those quick sort of little cash grabs that you're having. So yeah, I would say from our perspective, it's really, and you know, the Collagen Co, I think, encapsulates this perfectly about building a brand, an experience for the customer, and ensuring that it's something people want to be a part of rather than just pushing products.
Yeah, I feel that with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday sentiment. Like I just got smashed by some brands, constantly text messages, emails, and you know, if that's a strategy and that's working for them and it's generating them revenue, that's all good. But it's certainly there's a lot of noise around it. I found there was a few key brands that when I hear from, I sort of like I look out for it. It's like, oh, like they're getting in touch with me. I'll actually look into this. What do they want to tell me? Because I know it's hopefully a good deal or something important or a new product. They don't engage me 3-4 times a week because they're on sale constantly. But again, each business model is different. So
yeah, no, you become desensitized to it. It's just like, oh, another sale. And you can't differentiate which sale is actually going to provide you value versus off like them just sending you the collection that's always on sale. And it's like, if I know your brand, I know that you've got that like clearance collection or whatnot. All it's doing is really cheapening your product and decreasing the effectiveness of your email channel.
I think with that said also, like I know for me personally with SMS, I won't give my phone number to many brands. So I guess with email, I'll hand that thing out like it's water and just like sign up to every database possible. But I know for my mobile number, I keep that quite private. And so that when I do give it to brands, I actually do really want to hear from them. And so there are a select few that do have my phone number and that when they do send me a text message, I actually am engaging with them because I want to hear when they have sales or, you know, if they do have new products and stuff like that. So I think it's also just kind of, you know, making sure that you're targeting the customer at the right time through the right medium as well.
Yeah,
it sounds like they've built you up to be a super fan, Rack.
Just a little bit. There's a couple of them that I definitely am.
Yeah.
And then when looking ahead to 2024, what do you think will be the biggest opportunity or challenge for brands when it comes to creating super fans? Alex, I'll pass this one to you.
So I guess with high inflation and consumers being more selective about where they can spend their money, you know, inflation's through the roof, you know, everyday cost of living is, you know, growing and growing. You know, brands need to be strategic about building relationships and building their brand. Isaac, I think you've reiterated this many times throughout is, you know, your brand first, you know, you build that brand and from there, you know, the community grows around that. If your products are as good as they say they are, you're naturally going to grow. I guess to supplement all of that, you know, wonderful work and those relationships and to drive the engagement piece, that's where things like loyalty programs come in, personalizations on site through quizzes, personalized messaging, in email campaigns because we've collected data from a survey they filled out post-purchase or a part of another flow. You know, it is a great opportunity and, you know, I guess silver lining to everything, there's always an opportunity to build these super fans. You know, it's with the customer acquisition costs, you know, through the roof, it's the right time to drive engaged customers, keep them coming back, build that brand, build that loyalty through creating super fans and, you know, having that really engaged customer base.
Yeah, of course. Any challenges or opportunities for you, Isaac, that you're thinking about for Collagen Co?
I think, yeah, it's about how to continually engage customers. Yeah, all the costs keep going up, and so I think it's finding creative strategies to, you know, continually, you know, keep customers engaged, keep them interested. You know, whether that's new products. I think that's a good thing about surveys actually, because you can find out what our customers actually want from you. What are the, you know, one of the questions we ask is like, what products do you want to see from us? And that gives us an idea about where to invest our, you know, I suppose our dollars into product development, amongst a bunch of other things. But yeah, challenges. Obviously, there's economic challenges. I know that the election's coming up in the US next year, so that's obviously going to drastically affect digital advertising over there. So, but in saying that, the challenges have always been the same in business. It's just how it is. So, you got to be a good operator. You got to understand your business really well. You got to understand your numbers well, and then you got to understand your customer well too. So, yeah, don't know if I answered your question there. It was a bit of a random spurt of things, but
Might jump in with a hot tip there as well. You mentioned that product road mapping, which is great, understand what they want to see. But I guess the hot tip is once you then launch that product off the back of that road mapping, you've already got a segmented list for all the customers that we're interested in that as well. So, that ecosystem of collect data, but then retarget, personalize, can be done with, Okendo, surveys, reviews, our soon to be loyalty, referrals, quizzes, all ties in.
Yeah. Well, I think Keenan touched on it earlier. He got five emails in a row about the same messaging, and that just gives me horrors that they didn't segment out people like Keenan as the journey went on. Because I think there's no issue sending those emails, but if Keenan didn't open them, all good and well. But if he opened them and then you're still trying to push the same message, well, use the segmentation to your advantage. That's what these tech tools are there for. And if you're not using it in that way, then you're going to get fatigued customers that don't care about your emails anymore. It's going to affect open rates, etc. So, yeah, touching on a good point there. Like, utilize the tools to your advantage. Use the segmentation. Define customers based on attributes and gear your marketing messaging around that.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, it was great to chat to all of you today. That concludes our webinar. So hope you all learned some valuable insights, particularly as we head into the new year. I wanted to say a big thank you to our panelists. Couldn't have done this without you guys, and I hope everybody enjoyed. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.